Hello, everybody. Today is Sunday, and I thought I would talk about something that actually has a name for it. In German, it's called Sonntagsleerung. Sonntagsleerung, right? I'm taking a little bit of German, but it's kind of hard to pronounce it, which basically means the Sunday blues, right? That feeling you get on Sunday where like you feel, I guess, anxiety, depression. You kind of don't know what to do with your Sunday. So that's the feeling I think many of us have on Sundays because of inactivity, right? Um, Now, I was watching this video on School of Life, actually, pretty good, where they break down what is this feeling that we have on Sunday. And they mentioned that it's not only because we feel like the Monday is closed, right? And then there's like the Monday blues also when we feel bad on Mondays because we really don't have energy. We're kind of exhausted from whatever we did on the weekend, especially if we were like out partying or whatever. And it could be because you feel like you have to go back to work, right? And that feeling, especially Sunday afternoon, like you're no longer doing whatever you want or relaxing or whatever, is what may cause you to feel that way. But the video analyzes it deeper, and it actually explains that it's this feeling that we get on Sundays because we have inactivity. Now, inactivity, I think if you really expand it out, you could say that if you don't work, for example, on Monday, you may feel it on Monday, or if you don't work during the week in the mornings, right? Let's say you have mornings off or afternoons off, you may feel that sensation too. And the video analyzes it, which I'm kind of in agreement with, kind of not. The video basically says that we get that feeling because we're not actually doing what we want with our lives. So when we're confronted with this alone time where we're actually able to think about our lives and reflect, like deep down unconsciously, we feel that we're not happy. And I guess like the hectic work week kind of takes us out of that loop of self reflection that we may have when we are alone or when we're resting on a Sunday afternoon, let's say. And I think it's more of a, you're not really doing anything type of deal, right? So it's like the 20s, right? So people always say, like, you're a teenager and you live your life, and then you're an adult and you have a house, you have a family, you have a stable job or whatever. But nobody talks about the black hole in between those two things, which are the 20s, right? In your 20s, what the hell are you doing, right? That's where the series Friends kind of comes in, right? And it's like you're trying to find a stable job, a stable partner to be with, to make a family with, or you're trying to find your route in life, to find out which direction you're going to go in life, but you're not there yet. And you're also not a teenager, so you can't really be goofing off as much as you used to. Like when you were a teenager, you could goof off as much as you wanted to, but now you can't because you're more of an adult also, but you're kind of in between, right? That's how I feel Sundays are. Sunday night, Sunday afternoon. I feel like it's that space in between, and you don't really know what to do, right? You don't know whether to relax, whether to have fun, whether to enjoy yourself, or whether to start worrying about what's coming in the week, in your work week, about your responsibilities, about your commitments, about what you're gonna do during the week. So I feel like it's that limbo, right? It's that like uncertainty about not really knowing what to do. That's why I kind of agree with this whole idea of maybe you get the Sunday blues because you aren't doing what you really want to with your life. But I would say, even if you are doing what you want to with your life, and this is the part where I really don't agree with it, um, you're still gonna get it because let's say, you love your job and you go back to your job on Monday. You're doing absolutely whatever you wanted with your life, right? You're living the dream. And Sunday you still have to rest, right, from your work, because even if you love your work, you're not going to be doing it on Sunday or Saturday, right? So let's say you relax, you may still get that sensation, right? And I think it's that what do they call it, like threshold, right, in between two dimensions, like in between the weekend of having fun, relaxing, doing what, doing fun things or doing nothing or whatever, and then that week, right, where you get back to the activities, whether you like them or not. Um, so yeah, I just thought I'd share this idea. Now, I also wanted to touch on the word itself. So it's Sonntagsleerung, right? Which means something. It has a combination of Sunday. Sorry, Sonntag, right? And this type of like depression, right? Which is, I think, the Slerung, or like the sadness. Now, German is a pretty interesting language. I've been studying it, and they have this phenomenon where they combine different nouns to make like a new word, right? Where in English we have like compound nouns, and in Spanish too, like toothbrush or abrelatas, right? Where they combine two words to make a new word, kind of like a synthesis. And they have this word, for example, finger spits angle full. Finger spits angle full, which basically means fingertips feeling. And this is like an idea that you're actually really good with social matters, like you're really sensible to the social matters that are going on. But not only that, you actually know what to do, and you're very efficient and effective at handling like emotional matters with groups of people, right? Like you're like a boss, I guess. So German also has words for feelings that we don't really know how to express in other languages like English or Spanish. Like this one, for example, finger spits angleful, is kind of like making reference to that extension, I guess. Jordan Peterson said something about this, where like everything is an extension of your hands, like everything in the tangible world, like the water bottle, the laptop, your computer, your cell phone, your like whatever you have. Any technology that humans use is just an extension of your hand, right? And maybe that's where we get this idea of fingertips feeling, right? Um, and it's pretty interesting how language actually helps us explain these things that exist, right? Like these feelings, these moments, these experiences that we don't really know how to phrase, right? And German kind of makes up these words, and that's pretty cool. Because there is this idea in a book called Subliminal, I think it's Subliminal Messages or something like that, where this guy actually says that language is actually for deception. It was made in order for people to lie to each other, right? And that just that inverts the idea of language, because language is supposed to be for you to see the world. And he's saying that language is actually made for people to hide the world, right? So there's more behind the language, and language is actually just deception, right? So let's look at a couple of these. I have here 5 that I thought are pretty interesting in German. It's called Torschlusspanic, which is the fear of running out of time. So this is maybe when you are trying to do something, right? And you're like, oh crap, I'm running out of time. And I think this could be like with whatever you're doing, but it could also be with like big ideas, right? Like maybe I want to make an impact on this world and I'm running out of time, I'm getting old or whatever. There's another one, French shaman, which is cringe. I think this one we know it, which is embarrassment for another person, right? Kind of like being putting yourself in that person's shoes and just feeling that embarrassment or that shame, but for that person, right? Because you're not doing anything. Here's another one, Fernweh, right? Sorry if I'm mispronouncing these, which is the idea of wanderlust. This is a longing to visit a place that you haven't visited, which is weird, right? Because if you say, why would you be like longing to visit a place you haven't visited? You long to visit places you have visited, right? Like I want to go back there, but not places you haven't visited. But it exists, right? People feel that. There's a bunch of words if you just look them up on Google. Here's another one which I thought was cool, Weltschmerz, which is world sadness. So it's like feeling melancholy or feeling sadness, but for the world, right, as a whole. And my personal favorite, I don't know why, it's one that I really like, Futterneid, which is food jealousy. So it's this idea when you're at a restaurant, maybe with some friends, and maybe you're on a diet, or you know you shouldn't eat certain foods, or maybe you think something's gonna be delicious, and they bring it to you, and then they bring everybody their plates, and your friend or somebody around you actually gets a better dish than you. So you're jealous of their dish, right? You're like, oh man. And I've had this experience, right, where you're like, man, I should have ordered that. That looks better, right? And there's a word for it in German, right? Coincidentally. So I just thought I'd share my thoughts on this Sunday video, Sunday blues. Let me know what you think. Do you think you get the Sunday blues because you're at that threshold? And let me know if you have any other fun German words or in any other languages that you want to share, so we can kind of begin to know how to express feelings in other ways and in other certain types of situations, right? So have a great day. I'll see you all next video. Peace.